All right, welcome back. We got Coach Nimphius back for a great part two. We'll kind of dive right into it. We're going to really cover the option game and kind of the evolution from and within the run and shoot offense. And actually, the run and shoot offense, I think a lot of it evolved from the option and some of the stuff that Paul Johnson was doing, and then with those double wings, and then expanding them out, and kind of each thing takes from each other. So we're gonna have Coach really break down some things. We do have some stuff fired up already, ready to go. Let's see. Let's get this here.
Well, I think
I'll let you set it up, Coach.
Yeah, I think your setup is this. I guess a lot of people saw your last thing with me, and they asked, could you do something with the option? And I said, yeah, I could do that, but I think we got to go through, the concept of football, the evolution and de-evolution of what happens in football. And I think when you got into the run and shoot, when people really started getting into the run and shoot, which is really the late 70s, we were coming out of the wishbone era. I mean, people were either a wishbone team, a split back veer team. Later you would see Syracuse really going to the freeze out of the eye, and obviously belly option out of the wing T. So people had option principles in their offense forever, and forever. And and then of course it really became mainstream with Emily Billard and Emory Billard and Texas under Darrell Royal, and then obviously Oklahoma. But the academies were running; it was being run everywhere. I mean, the option was everywhere. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was growing up in that era, which as a kid that was playing on the perimeter, you didn't get the ball very much. So that's really where it was a hangover from the 70s. I really think that was what happened. And it was a lot of underneath. But old habits die hard in football. You know that. So guys are like, well, we're going to go 4 wide, but we're still going to stay with the option. And the game went from being in a phone booth to really being a game that was kind of on the Great Plains. And it became apparent that you could probably run the option a little easier with the spread out formations because the box became a little bit more accessible and understandable for a quarterback. Certainly with, something like inside option. So that's kind of where I think things came to. Now, as far as Coach Paul Johnson goes, he had a tremendous amount of success as the OC at was the OC or the head? No, he's the OC under Eric Russell at Georgia Southern in 85 and 86. He had some really good teams, especially 86 with Tracy Ham as the quarterback. Remember, they were what they called the ham bone.
Yep.
And after that, he landed out there in Hawaii, and I think he really got to expand. Now, again, as you guys probably know, it's a lot easier to be a revolutionary or take some risks when you're at places where nobody cares.
Correct.
So when you're out in the middle of Hawaii, you're at Georgia Southern, then you can take those risks. And anybody who starts a company or organization, if you ever want to know how to do it, just watch how Georgia Southern implemented football. Because they did everything from the giddy up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I thought for you guys would be helpful for everybody was I'd take people through, and it's not knowing everything, but hey, how has it looked at our place? And I'm talking about Riverdale because we were running this stuff at Glen Rock back in the midnight. We were running the option at Glen Rock all the time with
Grant Adams.
Well, Grant Adams was probably about on the list. And I love Grant. He was probably on the list of running the option at about 20th. All right. Yeah. We just had guys that were, and again, one thing that people will have to understand about the option is your best option quarterbacks are not necessarily your best athletes. All right.
Correct.
They're just not.